What does your training look like now, and what are your big future plans? Is it just go to the gym and get stronger and then go to Tokyo, or not Tokyo, go to Paris?
I mean, in a nutshell, yeah.
I nailed it.
More or less. We took a little bit of a break after World, so it was like a little bit lighter. We didn't really go over like 75%, probably just like really drilling technical stuff. Because that's our main focus right now is fixing some not so great habits that reappeared the last like couple of months leading up to Worlds. And then putting on some kilos.
Putting on some kilos. What do you mean by
Body
that?
weight. Well, because if I have to be an 81,
You're right.
it is not advantageous to be 75.5 and chugging water before weigh-ins.
Right.
However,
So can you explain how that works for people? Because like it's just a little bit of a convoluted system again.
yeah.
Just a little bit.
So they took out weight classes from the Olympics. Again, different ones this time. So they took out the one that I was the most comfy in, 76, and it's either 71 or 81. And I was never even considered going down to 71. Like, been there, done that. We kind of know what my ceiling is in that weight area. But 81 is also, we tried really hard to get up to at least 80 for the last Olympics when I had to weigh 87. And I start to get like achier and slower and just like overall around like 79. So we're hoping to get up to the sweet spot about 78, 78 and a half for this whole quad and then just sit there.
Yeah. I think it's very, it's kind of this old school approach of like getting as heavy as you can and cutting. And I love to see how many more athletes are focusing on nutrition and really dialing these things down, so that they don't have to make a drastic cut, or they're not just slobs. Because I think that absolutely, how you feel is how you're going to play. Like, and you could feel like it, but you could be the strongest you've ever been. But how repeatable is that? And how long will you be able to do that? A lot of it has to do with timing. Right. And I think this is like the coolest thing is like, if you feel good more time, like if you feel good more often, the timing is less important. Right. Because like you're likely to just kind of be at this nice level. But if it's kind of like, hey, today's a great day and it's the day before you compete, or today's a great day and you're 12 weeks out, like that does nothing for you, you know?
Right.
So it's nice to be in this kind of place where you can, you'll have a bad day or you'll have a good day, but you'll always be in a dialed spot. And you think 78 is that for you? 78 kilos?
I feel the most athletic between 75 and 76, but I have weighed 78 before, like leading up to Tokyo. And that's when it was like the perfect balance of right before I start to get a little bit slower, specifically like in snatches, but also when my strength movements are the strongest. So my squats, my deads, any pulling thing, it's definitely like peak strength without slowing down and without my joints being extra achy from just the extra weight.
What about nutrition then? Like and I don't want you to give me everything, but like a cursory overview of what you like to do, say in the morning, before training, after training, and before you go to bed.
So I feel like I'm a more abnormal situation because I don't like eating. I don't love it. I never have an appetite. So specifically for like 2-a-days, I don't like to eat like a big breakfast. I'll just eat like a bagel or something.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless of if it's 1 session, 2 sessions, whatever, I drink a lot of my calories while I train. So I'll have an intra-carb shake of sorts, whether it's like a juice or an actual like carb supplement, protein, creatine, and some sort of like salt electrolyte. And so I am drinking the whole time I'm training. I'll have like 8 beverages next to me, but that helps me be able to get in the amount of calories that I need every day, because like right before, right after training, I don't do well with eating. So it's like I spend so many hours training. I need to consume something while I'm doing that just to like stay caught up.
Okay. What about then, like, do you do anything before bed or any like after training, you're relaxing type of, or is it Just kind of your standard like protein, carb, vegetable thing.
Yeah. I mean, I have my macros that I have to hit just at some point in the day, so it varies.
Oh, so you're absolutely tracking macros.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I personally have to, just to make sure I eat enough. Because if it were up to me, I would just eat, and it'd probably be somewhere around 2,000 calories, but I ate 3,800 calories.
So that's where you're at. You're 38. And what? So 3,800 calories. What is your protein, fat, carbs?
So today's a rest day, so I think we're at 3,200. So it's 445 carbs, 85 fat, 170 protein.
Okay. Wow.
And it's been as high as I remember, like when I first.
For someone who doesn't like eating, that's tough. That's hard.
Yeah, it's way harder than any other time when I was cutting weight. That's for sure. Which I never really complain about because it's the opposite for everybody else. So they're like, shut up, you get to eat as much as you want.
Yeah. No, but if it doesn't feel right, I know what you're talking about. I totally understand.
Just feel like bleh all day.
What about sleep? Like, do you have any like bedtime? Like, what is? Do you struggle with sleep? Do you struggle with sleep?
Yes, and I always have. That's just, I think that goes hand in hand with depression, which is something else that I struggle with. So I very much have insomnia. So I will try to set like a be in bed at this time as opposed to like a bedtime, because I know it could be, I could fall asleep well that night, or it could be a few hours. So I'm like, if I can get myself in bed at this time, like I have a chance. And then since I don't work like a regular 9-to-5 job, the morning hours are usually, if I've had a bad night where I couldn't fall asleep or I woke up every 10 minutes, like I'll allow myself to go back to sleep in the morning and try to like make up for that if I have to.
Yeah, that's tough. I honestly deal with a very, very similar thing. I find it really hard to fall asleep, but I'm working on it. It's like something that I'm training and I have to train.
Yeah, same.
Do you try and like practice like certain sleep hygiene to just like at least try and fight it? Like just doing something like this was the funniest shit ever. Like I remember I was in a really bad spot. I was so anxious and dealing with so much that I had gotten shingles. I broke out in shingles, which is crazy. And a lot of the reason behind that is anxiety. And I went to the emergency room and I'm like, look, I haven't slept in like, I don't know, 48 hours. Like I'm not sleeping at all. If I do sleep, it's like a miracle. And it happened. Like the best hours of sleep for me are between like 7 a.m. and 11 a.m. Yeah. Like it sucks. When everyone's like, oh, I'm like dead asleep by midnight. I'm like, wow. Couldn't be me, you know? So I said that to the doctor. I'm like, please, like, I would love some sleep meds. And she said to me, I shit you not, have you ever tried melatonin? And I was just like, oh God, like you think melatonin is going to solve this? Oh, my sweet summer child. Sorry, I didn't say that to an actual PhD, but I understand the difficulty with sleep a lot. That's why I always ask. I want to always ask people what their sleep hygiene is and if they work on it.
I mean, I tried to be like the person that's like, no phone at this time, lights off at this time, don't look at any sort of screen, and it like nothing helped anything. I mean, I have like the Calm with melatonin. I'll drink it before bed. My husband falls asleep in like 4 seconds from it, and I'm just like.
It's always the significant others who can sleep so f***ing well.
I have to like wake him up and be like, babe, turn off your iPad. You fell asleep. And I'm like nowhere near even closing one eye yet. But I will say what has helped me more than anything else is making sure I'm not hot. Because if I'm hot, nothing's happening. So I have a like cooling pillowcase, cooling sheets. I have I think it's called an Ooler now, but I have a chili pad that like goes under your sheets and circulates cool water all night.
Whoa.
Like
okay.
Sleep noises. I cannot fall asleep without an ocean sound or a white noise. Like I have like a whole fucking setup.
And the room has to be pitch black.
Yeah.
Right?
And so like when I travel, I have like an eye mask and earplugs. And like,
oh, you're fine. You got, see, these are things, those are pretty good. Those are really good.
And then I like, I don't know. I just feel like if you're someone who really like struggles with sleep, you just know that there's no solution. Like people who don't understand, they're like, just read before bed. You'll fall asleep so much better. And I'm like, no, I'm going to read until 4 a.m. is what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Take melatonin, read, meditate, breathe, listen to this, do this. It's like, I know it's very, very frustrating one, but I still try.
Yeah, I try. I like put my phone away and I'm like, I'm going to read my book. I'm going to put my ocean sounds on.
Yeah. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you enjoyed that, press here for the full-length episode.